Tajon Buchanan made it official, well, will on Sunday. He's off to a club that he finished last season with, Villarreal. On loan, he's making a permanent move from Inter. Back to La Liga he goes, and seems to be a good enough spot for him in order to make a push ahead of next summer's World Cup. This is O Canada, O Baby. Wheeler, Wilson, and Brennan with you. We have plenty of time to dig into the national team between now and the World Cup. We thought we'd have a little fun, maybe a little bit of a debate. Who our top 5 most important players are for success for Canada at 2026. Now, we could take this in a number of different directions. You'll probably disagree with some of these. These are our lists. And this is the first time that we're looking at these. I have Alphonso Davies, number 1. Wilson and Brennan has Jonathan David. Wilson has Bombido 2, Davies 3. Yep. Interesting.
Let's talk about it.
Jimmy has Davies at 2, Bombido 3. I have him at 3. Saliba coming in at number 4 for Jimmy Brennan and Tajon Buchanan. We all have Buchanan on the list. I guess it's just one central midfield different for each and every one of us. I have Ismail Kone, you have Stephen Eustachio, Jordan, and Nathan Saliba for Jimmy Brennan. Before I get on about Alphonso Davies, perhaps we should go why you believe, both of you, believe that Jonathan David is the most important player for Canada ahead of the next summer's World Cup.
Well, I could answer simply and say, have you seen them play lately, the last dozen games? But I'll just say with this system, I'll say in the modern game, having that 10, 9, that central player that can chip in and score goals and just lead the team in the press, but also the way they want to play and go forward and be on the front foot, it has to be Jonathan David. Granted, we talk about this debate all the time. The most talented player will still be Alphonso Davies. But in this system, going into this World Cup and this year, it's J. David. No one can argue with that.
Jimmy?
I agree with him. I agree. And the reason being is because Jonathan David wins you games.
Yeah.
In those tight matches, he pulls out a little bit of cleverness where he finds the back of the net and he can win you a game. Yeah. And for me, he's the most important player on that team right now.
David has been. I'm going to say that Davies should be. And I think if Canada are going to be successful, their best player needs to be more of a focal point. I think that he has to be Canada's best player at that World Cup, and they're most important. From a leadership role, as captain of the men's national team, he can do things on the field that, simply put, other players can't. So for me, if Canada is going to be successful, yeah, David needs to be good, but Davies has to be something special, something next level. I think that he's the one player of taking his game to another level.
Do you feel like where he's playing on the pitch, though, as left back is hindering why he's not?
A little bit.
Yeah?
I do. It's such a aggravating debate, and we keep on going back to it. I don't really want to see him play left back for this team, Jimmy. And there's a little bit of a hole right now. Who's going to play on the attacking left side? I think Schaffelberg, a little bit one-dimensional, interesting player to come off the bench. Liam Miller's back playing preseason as well. But, I mean, Davies into more attack. If you have Davies and Buchanan playing in more high roles for this team, your press is different. The way that teams have to defend you is different. Yeah. I just think that Davies needs to be a little bit more forward and play in a different way.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, him down the left and Buchanan down the right. But at the end of the day, you know, when we're talking about your top player and your best player, for me, it's got to be down the spine. When you look at world football, 9 times out of 10, your best players come out of the spine, whether it's your number 9, your central midfielder, your holding midfielder, your number 10. So when we talk about Davies, I love the way that he plays, you know, especially at Bayern, how he gets up and down that line. But he's on the left side. Jonathan David's all over the park. And he makes a difference.
Davies, there'll be pressure, a lot of eyeballs on him because, you know, as much as within the Canadian soccer community, Jonathan David's a big name. Alphonso Davies, basically breaks down all walls as well. One of us had Moyes Bombido at number 2.
Jordan Wilson did.
Ahead of Alphonso Davies.
I
Explain.
Look, watching this team closely, Jimmy just already alluded to it. Alphonso Davies, I will never question about his talent, but importance and influence in this team and this system is Moyes Bombido. It is, because you play in such an insecure way. Jesse Marsh's way is you play it in a way that we are taught not to play. Not to just leave your players 1v1, not to be the last man standing, so if you get rolled and turned, you're running 50 yards. But you know who looks at that and says, go on. Doesn't matter which striker it is, which country, Moyes Bombido says, push it by me. I will catch you. I can be on the front foot. He makes other players better around him. So I think in this system going into a World Cup, you cannot really truly compete and think you're going to win a match without him.
I think it's all about style of play. I think Bombido suits Jesse Marsch's style to a T. I think they really missed him at the Gold Cup this summer.
Agreed.
Just the way they defend, and that's no disrespect to Luc de Fougerolles or anyone else that plays in that position. He makes everyone better because he can make up ground in behind. He can press, win those 50-50 balls with size, strength, intensity as well. I just think he's the perfect fit for the way that he wants to play. There's a knock-on effect.
And honestly, him with the ball as well, he's been improving time and time again.
Yeah.
Every time you see him, he's picking out the right passes, making the right decisions.
See, I love the way that he plays and the pace that he has.
Yeah.
And the way that he sees the game and reads the game. For me, it's important that you have a center back in that position because what it does is, if you're a striker and you match up against Bombido and you know, I can't beat this guy for pace. I got no chance. So you can't play balls over top because he's going to win absolutely everything. He forces strikers to change their game if they want to get advantage of him.
Great point.
But overall, I mean, look, I had him as number 2, and then I swapped it. But it was a good show because I really.
That's how important that. It speaks to also how important that position is, Jimmy, within the team construct. Yeah. So, don't mean to skip Tajon Buchanan because a top player and him being a real positive way this summer was a boost for Canada. But we got to talk about where we all differentiated.
Yeah,
it's pretty incredible that we each picked a different central midfield player. Eustachio, Saliba, and I picked Ismail Kone.
Yeah.
Jimmy, you want to bat lead off here? Why'd you choose Saliba over any of the other options within the central midfield or the rest of the team?
I like the way that he plays because he can go box to box. He can score goals. He can set plays up. He's a ball winner in the middle of the park, and he does the dirty work, which I like.
Yeah.
So if I'm looking at him now, I'm going, okay, he's 21 years old. He's got the legs. He's got the energy. He's got the pace. Sees the game well. He's going to Anderlecht, which is going to be a huge, huge season for him. And for me, I think he'll be one of the most important central midfielders in this team. And I left out Schwanier, but I love Schwanier as well. I think Schwanier and Saliba, the way that they play together, I love the way that they play. It's going to be a big year for Schwanier, so he was on my list, but I ended up putting
it's tough
Saliba.
To do 5. But
it's tough. Yeah. But Saliba's the guy for me.
Okay, Eustachio.
I did. No, well, obviously we know, coached me for a year. You got to build it down the spine. You know that. But I think with Eustachio, the leadership that he brings, I don't think there's a midfielder that has that for Canada. I agree with Saliba. He's a huge talent. Has legs for days, also has the quality to go forward and to defend. But someone that I'm going from the last World Cup, someone that's just been an important figure for this men's side, I'm looking at Eustachio because he fixes problems. When things are happening and you have to make a quick second decision, you can't look for Marsch for approval. You have to make sure that you make the right decision for your squad. He's very cerebral. So I think this year is huge for him at Porto, playing important minutes. But I think going into the World Cup in this calendar year, he needs to be at his best self for the team to perform.
I respect both your opinions. I like Saliba, Schwanier maybe a little bit lower. Same thing with Eustachio. Again, when making this list, I was going with should be. For Canada to be successful, Ismail Kone can do things in that midfield those other players can't.
Agreed.
Now, it sounds like he's on the verge, or maybe it's happened already, making a move to Sassuolo, a club that was promoted from Serie B. Fabio Grosso's the manager, some good players there. The rationale for choosing Sassuolo over other clubs is that there's a chance to play more on a regular basis. Certainly needs to play, but he needs stability as well. And playing with a team that might be fighting relegation, I'm not sure if that's necessarily the right move for him. I don't hate the move because he needs to play. What do you make of that move, Jimmy? Does that seem like a good move for him? Because I think for the best version of Canada to take a step forward, having a player like Kone and the things that he can do on the ball, if he's focused and playing and ready to go, that's a game changer for me, for Jesse Marsch.
Look, for him just playing in that league, Serie A, this is a good move for him. As long as he's playing week in and week out, it doesn't matter. And if you can get to the top 5 leagues and be playing week in and week out and get yourself ready for this World Cup, it's going to be beneficial for him.
Even if you are on one of the weaker sides, at least on paper?
Because you're going to play more than what you would if you're at AC Milan or if you're at Roma or these other places. There's too much competition. Yeah. Way too much competition. This, I think he'll be okay because probably the other midfielder that's playing with him is probably going to be on the same par as what he is at the moment.
Yeah.
You agree?
I do, and I think he needs that consistency. That's the biggest thing that sticks out. I also think, I don't know how you two gentlemen feel about it, but there's certain players that can adapt quickly to Jesse Marsh's system because they can just almost not think, but just do what he's asking of them and follow. Yeah, they can follow the rules. With a creative like Kone, I don't think the system favors him. And that doesn't mean that he might not be starting in a year's time. I just think it's taking him more time to actually develop and know what he needs to do in certain moments. Sometimes Jesse Marsh is like, okay, we got to go and press, or we got to move the ball here. And he's like, well, I can take on this player and actually dribble 20 yards. Maybe I'll lose it, but he can do things that other players can't. And sometimes that works in his detriment as opposed to being an advantage.
Yeah, I think it's such an advantage, though. If he could be
it
in
is
the right
overall,
way.
yeah.
Just him not playing against Guatemala in that game, it's like something's not right. He needs to be able to use that player because, especially going forward, like he's a game changer for me. So those are our lists. Make sure you get in the comments and add to the equation. Who are your top 5 most important Canadian players heading into 2026? Let us know.